Good afternoon to everyone. Today, I would like to discuss the topic of 1935, the Commonwealth Constitution. Again, I am Mariel B. Pedrigosa from BSPA LRG 1B. Little background about the Commonwealth Constitution. The 1935 Constitution provided the legal basis of the Commonwealth government, which was considered a transition government before granting the Philippine independence with an American-inspired constitution. It was written in 1934, approved and adopted by the Commonwealth of the Philippines 1935 to 1946, and later used by the Third Republic 1946 to 1972. First, let us define what is Commonwealth. Commonwealth is an independent country or community, especially a democratic republic. Ibig sabihin, ang Commonwealth ay kilala din bilang republika kung saan ito ay ginagamit sa mga asosasyon ng pangkapatiran ng ilang mga nasyong soberanya o mga bansang malaya na nagsasarili, and it consists of President, Vice President, Cabinet members, legislature, judiciary, civil service. Ito rin ay binubuo ng mga Pilipino. Two acts of the United States Congress passed that may be considered to have qualities of constitutionally. First one is the Philippine Organic Act of Law, and the second one is Philippine Autonomy Act of 1916. Philippine Organic Act of 1902, this is the first organic law for the Philippine Islands. The legislative power was vested in a bicameral legislature composed of the Philippine Commission as the upper house and the Philippine Assembly as lower house. So when we say bicameral, there are two chambers or branches in the government. So there are two key provisions of this act. The first one is the Bill of Rights of Filipinos. It is like the Declaration of Rights, where the list of important rights as a Filipino. And the second one is the appointment of two non-voting Filipino resident commissioner of the Philippines as representatives to the United States House of Representatives. Philippine Autonomy Act of 1916. It is commonly known as Jones Law, modified the structure of the Philippine government through the removal of the Philippine Commission, replacing it with the Senate that served as the upper house and its members elected by the Filipino voters. Binago ang pamamahala sa gobyerno, pinalitan ng Senate ang Philippine Commission sa pagiging upper house. Ang maaring maging parte o miyembro nito ay nasa kamay ng pagboto ng mga Pilipino, kung sino ang maaaring ihalal. It explicitly declared the purpose of the United States to end its sovereignty over the Philippines and recognize the Philippine independence as soon as stable government can be established. Sinasabi dito na stable government was equivalent to the Filipino independence. In 1932, the Hair Horse Cutting Act was passed by the United States Congress, with the efforts of the Filipino Independence Mission led by Sergio Osmeña and Manuel Rojas, but opposed by then Senate President Manuel L. Quezon and consequently rejected by the Philippine Senate. So, for the reason that it was not stated that the U.S. will truly free Philippines from them, or it was not stated that the U.S. will truly free Philippines from them. The law promised Philippines independence after 10 years, but reserved several military and naval bases for the United States, as well as imposed tariffs and quotas on Philippine imports. This is the first law that set a specific date or the Philippine independence on US. At ito din ang isa sa dahilan kung bakit ito tinutulan dahil sa probisyon, pagtatag ng base militar at paghigpit ng mga Pilipinong darayuhan sa Amerika. In 1934, the Tidings-McDuffie Act was passed by the United States Congress, also known as the Philippine Independence Act, provided the authority and defined mechanism for the establishment of a formal constitution by a constitutional convention. Ang Tidings-McDuffie Act o kilala din ito sa tawag na Philippine Independence Act ay ang batas nagbibigay sa Pilipinas ng kalayaan. Nilagdaan ito ni Pangulo Franklin Roosevelt noong 1934. Ipinadala niya sa Pilipinas para maaprubahan at karagdagan nito ay ang probisyon ng batas ay ang pagkakaroon ng halalan noong 1934 para sa isang constitutional convention. Ito yung gagawa o maglilikha ng konstitusyon ng pamahalaang Commonwealth. The members of the convention were elected and held their first meeting on July 30, 1934, with Claro M. Recto unanimously elected as president. Ang convention na ito ay pinamumunuan ni Claro M. Recto kasama ang may dalawa na nahalal na delegado. The Commonwealth Constitution or the Constitution was crafted to meet the approval of the United States government, to ensure that the United States would live up to its promise to grant independence to the Philippines. It created the Commonwealth of the Philippines that governed our country from 1935 to 1946. It is a transitional administration to prepare the country for its full achievement of independence. It provided for a unicameral National Assembly with a president and vice president elected to a 6-year term without re-election. It was amended in 1940 to have a bicameral Congress. The term for president and vice president was limited to 4 years with 1 re-election. Rights to suffrage were originally afforded to male citizens of the Philippines, 22 years of age or over, who are able to read and write. The draft of the Constitution was approved by the Constitutional Convention on February 8, 1935, and ratified by then U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt on March 25, 1935. So these are the changes brought by the Commonwealth Constitution. Acknowledgement to the women's rights in voting for the re-election. So, nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa panahon ng Commonwealth. Una na dito ang pagkilala sa karapatan ng kababaihan na bumoto. Nabigyan na ang mga kababaihan ng pagkakataong gamitin ang kanilang karapatang bumoto sa halalan. Second one is social justice, katarungang panlipunan. Isa rin ito sa tinuunan ng pansin ng konstitusyong ito, ang promosyong katarungang panlipunan upang masiguro na responsibilidad ng pamahalaan na pangalagaan ang kapakanan ng mga tao laban sa mga mapang-abusong mga mamamayan at ibigay sa mga tao ang nararapat para sa kanila. And these are the changes and policies implemented. Minimum wage, ito ay para sa manggagawa. 8 hours of works for the laborers from the public and private industry. Court of Industrial Relations, National Rice and Corn Corporation, National Relief Administration, Homestead Act, and promoting the national language. November 13, 1936, establish of the Institution of National Language. Itinatag ang institusyon na ito upang magsagawa ng pag-aaral sa mga dialekto ng Pilipinas. And in December 30, 1937, Declaration of Tagalog as basis of the national language. Prinoklama ni President Quezon or President Manuel Quezon ang Tagalog bilang pambansang wika. September 1935, the election was held and Manuel L. Quezon was elected as the President of the Commonwealth. Noong September 16, 1935, 1,000,000 Pilipino ang dumagsa sa mga botohan para ihalal ang dalawang pinakamataas na opisyal, ang Pangulo at ang Pangalawang Pangulo. Nahalal si Manuel Quezon bilang Pangulo at ang katambal niya na si Serge Osmeña bilang Pangalawang Pangulo. The Commonwealth was briefly interrupted by the events of World War II. Naantala po ang Commonwealth dahil sa pag-usbong ng ikalawang digmaang pandaigdig. And added by that is, in July 4, 1946, the Philippines was declared an independent republic. So, yun lang po at marami pong salamat.